Okay, hopefully we can try this again. Sasseleigh Biggons here with my husband
Bill Bourbon.
with the Big in the USA podcast, and we decided to talk today about something that is very near and dear to our hearts, trekking. Because you have how many years experience, dear?
21.
We've been married since 2015, and he's had how many different types of trucking jobs since then?
A lot. Mostly fuel
Yeah.
hauling.
When we met, you were delivering propane.
Right.
And then you moved to was car moving for a little while. Then you went
That
to
was actually truck transporting. That didn't work out like I'd hoped.
yeah, that's how life is. Then it was gas and oil,
Fuel hauling,
fuel
which is where I
hauling.
came from. Before I met you, that's what I was doing. I did a lot of that.
Well, because they haul was it the last one before this one? Because now you're doing diesel.
Primarily,
Before that,
yeah.
before that was regular gas. Was that oil?
Gas and diesel, mostly. With ethanol and occasionally jet fuel.
And that requires what kind of certification other than they let you drive a truck?
Class A with tanker and hazmat.
And as everyone always asks, it's so dangerous. Ain't you afraid?
No, I don't have time to think about fear.
And there's so many rules and regulations. How dangerous is it really?
We can mitigate our risks by acting safely. That's all I can tell you. When you do your job according to how it's prescribed, you're not going to have a problem. Now, it's not to say that equipment won't fail and accidents won't happen, but you know what? The stupid stuff won't happen if you do your job properly.
Like there won't be any hazmat cleanups. Nothing will explode like a bomb.
Yeah.
You don't have to pull the wrong product out of the wrong tank, which has been known to happen when people get tired.
Yeah, when you get fatigued, pull over, take a nap, do what you got to do. Just don't. It happened to me Monday. I had to stop and take a little time to myself in order to get back to Fort Worth.
You gotta do what you gotta do. And also to address any of the really interesting photos that sometimes crop up of truckers not knowing how low a road is, going off the road, or running over cement blocks and needing cranes to pull them out from the wheelbases. What would you say to all those?
Learn to read. Should have paid attention more in trucking school.
I should have stayed off of
No,
whatever it went
hit a
by.
low overpass. If you come across an overpass that says 12.2 and you're 13.6, you shouldn't have been down that road. Okay, they do most of the time. They do give warnings about this stuff. If there's a road that says no trucks, there's probably a damn good reason why. You know.
Or there is special trucker specific GPS that will tell you where you can go and where not to go. So if there is a height issue, you won't have to back up your hitch miles and miles. It can be very logical. It can be safe. It's just if you're an idiot, we can't help you.
Yeah.
You're an idiot, can't help it. Let's see. How to find a trucker friendly hotel, which I know is a great question.
All right. So we covered on the last broadcast. I'll answer again. You might want to just check around and just search the internet and trucking boards. But while I got my phone in front of me, I want to look at this truck friendly hotels.
Or they also say
Let me give you a little tip. If you're in Las Vegas and you want to go and you got your truck parked at the TA and you want to go to the Palace Station, they'll come pick you up. Okay.
ooh, customer service.
Yeah. Las Vegas is really good for that. Can't park in the parking lot, but you can get there somehow. You know, you can get to the hotel somehow. How to find truck friendly hotels. Let's see. There's a guide on here somewhere, I think.
Or it's also suggested if you use Google Earth where it does live pictures, it'll show you how big the parking lot is.
HotelEngine.com has an article, the 7+ truck friendly hotel chains, and choice hotels. But you have to call each individual hotel because not all of them are going to have it. So Sleep Inn, Comfort Inn, Roadway Inn. I'll tell you who you could ask. And that's ask some of these LTL drivers, the ones that pull doubles up and down the road, go from terminal to terminal. They
Define
know.
a double because not everyone knows automatically what that means.
Okay, more than one trailer, basically the 28-foot twin trailers.
Yeah, two different
Okay.
sections with two different hitches and connectors.
Yeah. Okay, hotel engine is stupid. This article's stupid. There is a website called hotelfortruckers.com. I forgot about this one. 100% trucker friendly hotels. Hotels, the number 4, truckers.com. There you go. Here's your, I forgot about this one. And you sign up with them, you can save 15 to 20%.
Not bad. Also, pimping out the inside of the truck for an individual, or when I say two people, it's either team members or husband and wife, and he's the truck driver. Or heck, they both double team.
Hopefully, if you're a husband and wife team, you both have a CDL, you're both driving, you're both making, because I'm going to tell you what, that's where the money in the over-the-road trucking is at right now. It's at over-the-road, work as a team type stuff. And I got to ask the question, though, how can you stand living in? Can you live with your partner in a space the size of a standard house bathroom for a very long period of time? Or is this one of those things where you're just along for the ride? If you're along for the ride, I say make yourself comfortable. If you're working, then yeah, make yourself doubly comfortable. So you got to be able to trust your partner driving and everything, and hopefully that can work out. If it doesn't, rethink your options.
And cooking and refrigeration inside the vehicle. And does it come with all the Wi-Fi and air conditioning like an apartment?
No, most of the time, no. Freightliner has gotten good because they do have some factory options on some of their trucks. That's if you're getting your own truck. If you're at the mercy of another company, then no, I don't know what to say about that. I will say this though, however, make it comfortable for you, and yeah, you can. Be careful with inverters because you can cause a fire. If you take too much draw off the batteries with an inverter, you're likely to overheat some wires. They'll melt, cause a fire. Or if or you hook them up wrong and they short out, have a professional do that for you. Okay. If you got one with an APU on it, that's even better. Auxiliary power unit.
So, what would you suggest as far as microwaves or camp stoves and other things?
Stay away from anything with an open flame in an enclosed space.
I know propane you can get like the air is poison if you don't ventilate it enough.
No, consuming that type of fuel consumes oxygen. If you don't roll your windows down and let a fresh air supply in there, then that's exactly what's going to happen. And these camp stoves are meant to be used in outdoor settings only. So,
And there's enough juice in the battery to run a microwave.
Most of the time, yeah, but you're going to need the help of an inverter to do that, which inverts 12-volt DC power to 110-volt electricity.
And any other cleaning supplies, ways of keeping yourself clean, public showers.
One at a time. Cleaning supplies for the truck. You can get whatever you want, whatever you like to use at home, you can use in the truck too.
Okay, like baby wipes, paper towels.
Yeah, baby wipes for personal hygiene. Baby wipes are the go-to. These dude shower wipes that they're manufactured. These are even better. These are baby wipes on steroids, but they really work. Can't flush them down a toilet. I'm just going to tell you, you can't flush any wipes down a toilet. So that works in a hurry, works in a pinch. Shoot, just keep a coffee maker and get some hot water and wash yourself. Sponge bath. I used to do that a lot. Believe me, when you can't get to a shower in 3 or 4 days and you really need to, it's like, God, I stink, and you can do something. Make yourself comfortable out there. If you think you're going to run into a situation where you're going to have to wash your butt on a regular basis and you're not going to be near a shower, then yeah, Get yourself clean. Don't go
They
without.
ate
Don't.
too much spicy chili again.
If I can smell you over the diesel fuel, there's a problem.
uh, uh,
Yeah, you're going. Yes, it's been that bad. I'm not going to lie. It's been that bad. I've been to other truck drivers. I'm fortunate, being home every day. I can take a shower every day. Sometimes I take them twice a day, depending on how big of a case of swamp ass I get out there. And it does happen to summer here in Texas.
Yeah, the heat will make you melt. Sweat twice as much. And anything on the first aid kit, which everyone should have.
Everyone should have one. I don't care who you are, trucker, non-trucker, have one, even in your car. And here's the thing: sometimes those supplies just degrade and expire over time, so replenish them from time to time. I forget what the recommendations on that is, but I'm going to say once every 2 years. At least something basic to take care of wounds and cuts, and because it's going to happen.
Oh, do they also use a fire extinguisher on the trucks?
Fire extinguishers are required on trucks. In my case, I have to keep one on the trailer and in the tractor. Most DOT regulations requires you keep one in the tractor anyway.
Okay, I remember I had one for a while. Never used it. Expired. So I'm like, why am I keeping this? And they said that the cops would stop you if they knew that you were a rideshare driver, and that never happened. So, just to get some more details. The company CRST, good,
No.
bad, or otherwise.
Bad. Stay away from them. I've relayed Mark experience. Well, you know, we got to get Mark on for him to talk about that experience. But so they shipped him up to Iowa to trucking school. And when it came time for drug test and physical, because this is the first thing they're going to do. Your first night, you better be clean. And then all of a sudden they announced drug test and physical. Well, guess what? That drug test is a pre-employment drug test. That physical is a pre-employment physical. You're going to have to require a urine sample. And there were people up there, and this just goes to the type of people that they hire. Okay, they're pulling in everybody for trucking school, and there were people trying to literally buy his urine so they could pass the drug test. It sucks. Okay. Not only that, they're going to put you in a team type situation, and you don't get a choice in your partner a lot of times. And Mark ended up with a couple of really bad ones. As a matter of fact, you're supposed to stay there for a year, but he ended up walking away early because he had such a rough time and a bad experience.
And there's already a trucker shortage because
now he's moved on. He's got a local job now, and he's holding his own.
Now, what is the for people who think they want to do owner operator and run their own business essentially? What would you say would be a good prerequisite for that? Because I know a lot of people who are not experienced in business think they can just go do it.
Save a ton of money before you get into it. Have an emergency fund as a hedge against the worst case scenario. That's the best advice I can give anybody. Save up as much as you can.
Worst case scenario would be like you need new transmission and it costs how much?
$15,000 to $20,000.
Yeah, that kind of.
If anybody has any numbers on that, I will. If anybody has any numbers on that, please send them to me.
And also, as a waitress, I can tell you it can take up to 3 days to rebuild one of those things, and that's one of the quick turnarounds. So basically, you
3 days. Sometimes you're with today's labor shortage, you're lucky for 3 months.
Or that, how much do you want to sit around not making money with something that you were told can make you money? It's not just about doing math or actually.
Well, no, it pays. Whatever truck you're going to get, you need to have checked out by a qualified, independent, reliable mechanic.
No, I'm just saying that most people don't think about all the costs because gas has doubled in the last 3 years.
Right.
So whether it's gas prices going up and just basic accounting, food costs going up, supposedly there's going to be a tax on per mile that they passed. They just implemented it yet. Just any other cost that will add up. Like, did you really make profit, or are you technically in the hole after you went 1,200 miles? And they just don't do the math on it. So, be good at accounting. Get a good accountant, bookkeeper.
By the way, I'm looking at fuel surcharge rates. That's another thing I'd look into if you're going to pay a fuel surcharge as an owner operator. That can hedge your bets against the thing, but you are, and I'm not the expert on that. Okay, I'm not the total expert on that. That's Kevin Rutherford's territory. If you really want to make your owner operator business work, go to letstruck.com, check out his resources. And he's going to be a little rough with you if you sign on for him to help you, because if you think you're going to come out here and get a 3 mile per gallon Peterbilt 389 with the long hood and everything just so you can look cool, no, you might as well just go ahead and paint ego driven on the side, because that's exactly what it is. It's ego driven. You want to make money, or do you want to?
Ego. Shiny
Yeah.
means ego.
Some things never change out here. My dad was right about it. So.
Some ladies had some questions about, can you trust your trucker out on the road?
Well, I don't know. That depends on him. Can you trust
him? How good the
him?
relationship is.
Look, if this question has to be asked, I'm going to assume there's relationship problems or the potential for relationships. Oh, he's so lonely out there in the road. I used to hear that a lot. That's when I first got out there. Well, you're going to get lonely out there on the road. Oh, me, the introvert, get lonely? Really?
And we introverts do not get lonely.
Yeah, I do, but then again, sometimes I miss my cats more.
Yeah, I don't doubt that any.
So no, and sometimes I don't relate to that. Sometimes I just, well, what if he gets lonely? And I'm like, golly, what are you? Are you a child or are you an adult? I miss my mommy.
No, I miss my honey. He wasn't here to wash the dishes while I watched the kids, you know.
Yeah, I really need to talk about that if that's an issue. If you don't trust your partner, there's nothing I can tell you. There's nothing I can say to you right now other than it's probably not going to work out. I've seen this in all sorts of occupations, you know.
It's either your marriage or trucking. It's one or the other. And depending on how much he's in love with trucking, because they do fall in love with trucking. It's not just about another woman.
Yeah. I remember the last one he told me, well, it's my way or the highway. I said, you told that to the wrong trucker. I've been friends with
they know every highway. That's where home is.
I know the highway better than I know you. I'm not trying to be a smart ass. I'm just saying, if but to get to get
it's
serious,
realistic.
No, it's real. Well, okay, yeah, I see your point, honey. But going back to, can I trust my trucker? Well, can you? Why'd you marry him if you can't trust him? Why'd you get with him if you can't trust him? Why are you even there if you cannot trust him? Trust is the foundation for any relationship, and it just doesn't extend to the trucking thing. That's all the way around. I'm addressing everybody on this. If you do not trust your partner fully, there's some things you got to examine.
Or if he comes home who says he'll stop cheating anyway because cheating's cheating, you don't need a road as an excuse.
If he's done it already, he doesn't deserve. No, I don't have anything. I don't have anything good to say here on that one.
Also basically boils down to, if you don't know how to have a good relationship, there's enough technology to where if you wanted to physically see him every day between FaceTime and everything else, you could.
Oh my gosh, the technology is so amazing. Between Skype, FaceTime, Google Meet, that's another good one. Okay, I love Google Meet.
And almost every trucker has a headset on, so it's not like you can't call them 24/7.
Yeah. That's why I invest so heavily in Bluetooth headsets. Well, here's my latest $170 thing, the Shocks Open Run bone conduction. A lot of truckers are using these now because they're not as bulky as the over-the-head things.
So, yeah, to say you can't communicate with your trucker just means you didn't call him. Or he's avoiding you and you got a relationship issue, not because you had a couldn't connect issue.
I remember in the early days of Sprint with their nationwide calling, they didn't have coverage everywhere. And this was like 2005. 2005. I was driving through Wyoming on my way to California. And Sprint. I went right into roaming, and they charged me up the wazoo for roaming. I left Cheyenne, Wyoming, didn't have a proper Sprint signal until Salt Lake City, Utah, and I ran out of hours somewhere, somewhere at the Utah-Wyoming border.
Went over that.
By the way, I'm over all the cheating questions. Look, if you really can't trust your significant other, don't be with them.
Yeah, if you can't trust them in trucking, you won't be able to trust them outside of trucking, no matter what job he has. And if you're just not good at creating good, healthy relationships with your other half, or if they're not good at it, go to therapy. More people should. Because if you need a third party to tell you what the truth is that's staring you in the face, go get the help.
Yeah.
Get the help rather than avoid the help.
Yeah. Next.
Oh, and my other favorite question is, do you cry into your pillow every time your trucker leaves?
Are you a woman or are you a child?
Well, if you need to cry, cry, because hormones do weird shit to you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, once you
Can't
get
dwell
used to
upon
it
it.
and just man up to it, I mean, I know a lot of women who learn to like their downtime. It's like when their husband's home, it's only about their husband. As soon as he's gone, you breathe in, you breathe out, you enjoy it, you get back to your routine.
A lot of that speaks to individual relationships, so I can't really I don't have a blanket answer for this one, but if you really miss him that much, then maybe uh maybe it's time to talk with him about it. Maybe it's probably not the best option for y'all, but if it's a matter of survivability right now and that's the only way you can pay the bills, then you're going to have to at least acknowledge it on some point over here,
Or get more friends, broaden out who supports you.
Yeah.
I mean, your feelings are valid, just you have to find a better way of using them or satisfying them, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Or like to get a support system. Where is there something missing? Hire a teenager to babysit, do something. Have your mom watch the kids while you get your nails done for an hour just to get your peace and sanity for a minute.
Yeah.
Join a knitting group, volunteer at
He's
an
not
animal shelter.
he's not leaving you alone intentionally. I mean, it's
He's not abandoning you. He's making money. He's
well,
focused.
no. Let's tell the Snowville, Utah story. Flying J, Snowville, Utah. Pull in there. I'm on my way to Portland, Oregon, and I pull in there late night. Team partner, and we get something to eat. And the cashier there, I don't know if she's just new to trucking or not. She looked rather young. I don't know why anybody would want to be away from their families. I mean, she kept emphasizing want to the point where, okay, I get it. All right.
Like you're running away from home.
Yeah,
Or
you're running
something.
away from home, running away from your responsibilities, don't want to be
I
with
do
your
know
family.
adults who have done that.
No. So, me being the eternal smartass, I said, well, you know what? I don't like my family. I don't like my kids. They're a financial drain on me. The only peace and quiet I get is out here on the road. And that shut her up.
It's like, yeah, they don't have to go home.
Now, I'm not saying that's the case for everybody. Don't read more into this than what I said.
I say you don't
It
have
was
kids.
a joke. I was being a smartass, and I did not like the premise of the question. Because she was insinuating that that's what we do. We run away from home. We run away from our responsibilities. We run away from our duties, and that's not what we do.
No, you're out fulfilling all your duties, making money, supporting the family, and
Why do you think anybody would want to be out here on the road in the first place or even want to try it? It's because it's a better shot than what they have already.
yeah, self-improvement.
Same for me. I left a union factory job in Wisconsin to go over the road, and it did prove out to be better in the long run. Because I'm going to tell you, 20-something years later, they're not doing much better than where they're at that factory.
For anyone who likes to stalk their husbands, what about the Life 360 app?
Well, actually, I had a chance to look at that. Probably the one that out there. But let's see. Let me look at my phone real quick, and we'll see what we can come up with. Tracking apps for cell phone.
Or just use Google.
Use Google. Live 360 is the one that comes up the most. Okay, so let me filter
Yeah,
through
they
the
advertise it.
paid
You pay for
results
that
on
one.
Google. Little Google chip. The first apps that you'll see a lot of the first results you'll see on a Google search are paid advertisements. Scroll past those, go to the next one. So there's an article here about the top 13 free. I'm not about spending money really. Free cell phone tracker apps to use in 2022, and we got M Spy, U Mobix, XN Spy. There's a lot of spy stuff here. As far as the best one, I've heard a lot of good things about Life 360. And I'll tell this story again about Mark when I picked him up over there. I'm probably telling on him. Yes, we went out to Dublin Square. No, we weren't drinking. Okay.
It's just a nice bar that has really good fries.
Oh, and the hot wings are awesome.
Yeah.
I paid for that though. I'm the one who OD'd on hot wings.
Yeah, hot sauce is great as poison.
No, when I told dispatch about it, they had a good laugh. And but he left his phone in his truck because because he's had some problems in the past, and she wants to know where he is at all times. So, and he left us because I asked him, hey, let's look this up. Where's your phone? And then he's like, oh, I left it in the truck. Well, you mean I gotta go get mine? Okay. And he told me why, and he left it in the truck so that way she could think that he was at the truck stop. I mean, these things are pretty accurate within a few feet. Life 360 is what they had, and if that's one that you want to go for, then I say go for it. This is not to say that I'm advocating for spying on your trucker. I'm going to tell the truckers right now, you might want to have something in case something bad happens and they can find you. No joke. It happens.
Oh, here's a double-edged sword to deal with. Dealing with anxiety. This looks like one of the stay-at-home people saying
All
it.
right. Read it off to me.
I've been going back and forth about posting, but may as well. Does anyone else have severe anxiety going out there? I'm supposed to go out for a week with my husband. I've never been, but I'm super anxious about it. Any advice or anything?
That's normal. You're not the
Yeah.
only one. You're not the only one. Two, let's just stay in the moment. And if you're going out there with him to really try to enjoy yourself, but you got to understand a couple things. That is his workspace. Okay. That is his job, and he's got to be able to do his job. If you are prone to panic attacks out there traveling, maybe you shouldn't go. Or at least talk to a professional about it before you do. Talk to your doctor. Okay. As much as I hate to say it, I get really nervous around crowds. So I feel your pain. And if it's not something you're up for and you got to work your way to it, then why not take it just one step at a time, maybe one day at a time, maybe go out with them for a day, take a bus back home or something. I mean, just suggestions. I'm not saying to go out and do that, but if the anxiety is a real problem in your life, then you probably need to address it with a medical professional.
Also, to dig back into headsets, what is the legality surrounding headsets and why every trucker seems to be obsessed with them?
Handheld cell phones are punishable by fine by federal law, $2,700 to the driver, $11,000 to the company. These things can add up. There's been a lot of incidents that led up to this. So you have to be hands-free in the truck, period. Oh, and invest in a good one. Don't waste your money. So
Let's see what else. I don't know why this is a question for ladies, but what are some of the items that your truck driver has been given by his employer that he loves and uses regularly?
repeat that.
What are some of the items that your trucking company gave to your truck driver that he loves to use regularly?
Uh, the company issues a phone to my company anyway. Issues a phone that is, stays in a truck, and it has two very valuable apps. One is my e-log. There's a physical e-log unit connected to the diagnostic port on the truck, and it's a Samsara unit. So for you truckers out there who are familiar with Samsara, I actually have grown to like this. And the other thing is where they do the dispatches on there. I don't have to talk to anybody if I don't have a problem that night. I don't have to talk to anybody if I don't want to. As we get a uniform allowance. That's another good benefit that I get. But all that really depends on the individual company. You know, whether it be a gift that they give them. You know, I recently got a driver appreciation, employee appreciation gift of a duffel bag. That'll come in handy somewhere. You know. I also have this brand new fancy clipboard, metal clipboard that I haven't used yet. That was for driver appreciation back last September, and I'm just like, that's useful. Something like that is useful. If the company's going to give gifts to their drivers, I highly appreciate, from my point of view, something that I can use on a daily basis and is practical and make my life easier out here.
Try to find some good questions on here. A lot of the stuff has to do with, hey, I had a baby, isn't it great? Type of stuff.
Well, congratulations.
There's quite a few babies this year.
Mm-hmm.
Using an electric cooker, electric skillet, slow cookers, and crock pots. What's the best brands?
Read your reviews on Amazon on these things, because I'm just going to tell you that what you get what you pay for on these things. I'd stay away from a lot of the junk at the truck stops because a lot of it is junk, except for the Burton stove. That thing seems to does it. Tim got like 13 years out of his.
Wow.
Invest in a good quality inverter. Don't draw too much off your battery power, because I wouldn't run the electric skillet, the slow cooker, and the microwave all at once off of truck batteries with an inverter attached. You might be asking for trouble. If you have an auxiliary power unit, the more the better. So
It bounces back to woman has problems every time her husband leaves because they got two young kids, young mom, and
is it the kids or the mom crying?
Her reflection of the children. A little bit of her crying.
Okay.
She just doesn't. Sometimes you just have
Woman
to
up. I'm going to tell all these women to seriously own up to the fact that your husband's going to be gone for at least 2 weeks at a time. And if this doesn't work, then it's your responsibility to sit there and say, this ain't working. Okay?
Let's see. No, let's see.
Pardon my slouch behavior. I'm not running through my board today. I got to update some stuff here if I want to get that going again.
Trucking school costs and how to get into the business.
Yeah, it depends on the individual school. $5,000 seems to be about an average cost. I suggest saving up for it. Don't go into the student loan programs or something. Or if you have no other choice, then yeah, bear with a company that will pay for you to do that. Because a lot of companies, I went to trucking school with Schneider, and I really didn't have to pay a dime out of pocket. I just had to give them a year of my time, which I did, and I didn't have a problem. But this is a little tougher. I've also had prior exposure to trucking prior to me getting in, because my dad was a trucker. At least I had some experience with it, so I knew what I was getting into before I got into it, and I think I was a little bit better prepared for it than most of them. I'm not saying it wasn't hard, because it was hard. And a lot of the things that these trucker wives dealt with, man, with my ex-wife, I was getting called sometimes on a daily basis. Are you cheating out here on me? She talked to one of her friends. He'd come up with some sort of tall tale about trucking. Oh, I bet my favorite one was when one of her friends said that, oh yeah, I could pay the cashier at the truck stop an extra $10, $20 to come into the shower with me and assist. And I'm just like, no, that's prostitution and that's illegal. Okay.
And how young was the cashier?
I'm just going to be honest with you. Something like that I have never seen happen. Okay. I have never seen it happen. I've seen my fair
It's so
share of lot
funny to
lizards.
think about, though.
Well, I know, but I've seen my fair share of lot lizards out here. You know, that's another. Oh, because some of them were just that bad. Some of them were so bad, in fact, that it's literally made me physically ill. It's
Makes
just
me look
hard,
cute, huh?
very hard to do for me. Okay, that's very hard to
That's
do.
why I look so cute, right? And I have all my teeth. They're
Yeah,
original.
yeah. Like that 120-something-year-old lost all her teeth, track marks up and down her arm. You could smell her coming. Oh, and she smelt like death.
Well, when your life is death, what can I say?
Ugh.
Uh, People who get motion sickness,
Driver or passenger?
both.
It may not be for you.
What was just passenger, other than Dramamine? And don't
I
you
don't
use
know about
Dramamine?
other people, but Dramamine makes me extremely sleepy. I used it as a sleep aid because when I was running team for YRC, that would happen. I'd get the motion sickness when I'd be like trying to I have to do 10 hours, I had to do 10 hours off. So I was doing like maybe an hour and a half of reading or something. Then I'd get extremely motion sickness. And I found out that the Dramamine worked very well in helping me sleep and go into a deep sleep. I know this happens with some people. I'd avoid it and talk to your doctor about motion sickness. Mine is related to an inner ear fluid imbalance. I also have issues at high altitudes. Okay.
Moving on, does anyone know anything about Universal Carrier Group out of Fort Worth, Texas?
Well, that's a kind of let's look at them. Let's look at them real quick. Let's see what we can find out. Universal Carrier Group. Oh,
I'll actually respond to that one. It was only a few days ago.
well, first thing I'm going to tell you is okay, let's see. I'll pull up their safety rating. Here they are.
Safety ratings do matter because it proves the company will or won't be around for who knows how much longer, because you only can withstand so many fines.
Universal Carrier Group, Fort Worth. I keep pulling up Maryville, Tennessee for some reason.
Maybe that's where their headquarters is or where they filed for incorporation.
Well, okay. Universal Carrier Group, Fort Worth, Texas. 9800 Hillwood Avenue, Suite 140, Room 151, Fort Worth, Texas. Phone number is a Georgia number, believe it or not. Okay. Red flag number one. Honestly, I cannot tell you. But they.
I'm going to the job sites because I haven't been.
Yeah, go back to the job sites. If there's reviews there, you should read them.
I haven't found a trucking company that's not hiring 24/7 just for the hell of it.
If you're looking for their reliability and how they treat drivers, I suggest talking to another driver.
Well, especially one that's about to quit, because he'll really tell you all the juice.
Yeah. But yeah, you talk to another driver. I used to do that a lot. I used to talk to other drivers about their stuff all the time. I still won't go to work for JB Hunt. By the way, I'm going to be desperate if I have to go to work for JB Hunt.
Yeah, like destitute.
I really can't speak to specific trucking companies. I've really been involved in for a large portion of my career. I can tell you about some of these fuel hauling companies because these guys don't shut up about their bad experiences.
Here's one that might be more up your alley. Is anyone on here that has a Swift lease?
Get out of it. Should have never went to Swift. Swift is probably at the bottom of the thing. And if you read any reviews on them, if you can find with that many negative reviews, I promise you nothing good's going to come out of it. and you stand a real likelihood. Your work ethic will carry you through everything, but you'll stand a there's still a good likelihood that sometimes, no matter how good you have it, you're still going to end up with some bad experiences that are going to cause some major setbacks. And having worked for Swift as a company driver for 3 months, I can tell you it's not worth the trouble.
So if you enjoy migraines,
Yeah.
don't sign. Okay. It's not a question. Um. Oh, for the people who care about special events and holidays and the trucker not being there.
That's the risk you take being out here on the road.
Or just like we always celebrate stuff. We just don't do it on the day that the calendar says we should celebrate it on.
Well, take your birthday, for example. Okay. What did we celebrate it yesterday? I was working on your birthday and I was working a lot. It was not a particularly good day for me at work. So, these things happen. You can either work around it, or, you know, maybe give up trucking altogether. I don't know, because I don't have a good answer for that one. You're going to miss some things, but I'm not making excuses here.
I mean, doesn't the military miss a lot too? You hear those wives
Oh, the
complaining.
military, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of similarities in experiences with that between military and trucking, because that's how that's how it is. You're going to get deployed for a year at a time. Say, a year is that's usually the number one common time frame for deployment, 6 to 9 months or a year, and you're going to miss some stuff. I'm sorry.
But it doesn't mean you
That's
can't
the
create
nature of the
it
job.
later on.
That's the
I
nature
mean,
of the job.
like growing up, like we had our immediate family. Yeah, we had Christmas on Christmas Day, but we had all the grandparents and stuff, and people were divorced, so we'd have like 5 Christmases. Well, not 5, but maybe like 3. But yeah, each place wanted to host their own, and we had to show up.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, it wasn't as good as our Christmas because it's like once a year you paid your respects. That's all it
No,
was.
one year we went on vacation as a family. My family. This was when this was like 1987, I think it was 1987,
Mhm.
88. We celebrated Christmas. I think it was December 29th when we got back, because we were having the time of our lives on the beach in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, celebration.
So we worked around it. No big deal. To me, it's no big deal. We work around it. We've always worked around it. I just so happened to be off on my birthday this year. So what do? Go to my favorite restaurant.
Yeah, and I got COVID. Thanks. Yeah, I remember that week of your birthday. We got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Stayed home for 3 days. Luckily, it wasn't a bad case. Um. Oh, back issues and truckers.
Yeah, that's going to happen. You just keep. Uh, yeah. Lumbar support, back support, sit up straight, sitting posture, all matters. Okay. Get out and stretch every once in a while. Circulation issues are something that my doctor brings up. Oh, you're a truck driver. You got to work for circulation issues. Look, I'm not sitting in a truck that long. Honestly, I'm sitting. The longest run I do is from Ardmore, Oklahoma to Ty, Texas. Okay. And I am stopping. That's a 4.5 hour drive. I am stopping somewhere, usually Wichita Falls, on that one. Stretch my legs, get something to eat, use the bathroom or something. I drink a lot of water, so I pee a lot. So I'm going to get out of the truck one way or the other.
Can you visit the chiropractor how often?
Once a month. It's been very helpful. I do have issues with my sciatic nerve on my left side. So watch that. When you got your wallet, take your wallet out of your back pocket, put it in front of you. Okay.
So you don't sit on it and it makes your spine lay flat.
Which reminds me, I got to take care of that real quick.
Any other medical advice for truckers? Because we all know that they got Since they have to sit so much, weight can be an issue, but just how to help deal with it other than going carnivore, keto, and cooking in the truck as much as possible.
Yeah, lay off the little debbies.
And the wheat products.
Yeah, lay off the little debbies, lay off the potato chips. If you're that bored and you have to snack, maybe you need to rethink some things. Don't
And actually,
don't
potato
take
chips
no,
have salt.
no. Here's one of the best things I got. I go get a diet Mountain Dew from the cooler. One diet Mountain Dew from the cooler because I have a cooler full of water and I'm just drinking one soda a day or two, or I've had to cut. I was really that bad. I did drink 8 Dr. Peppers in one day one time,
Mm.
and this smart ass truck driver brings in his 100-ounce mug that he got at the truck stop and filling it up at the fountain. But yeah, it's cheaper to do it that way. And you know why they do that? They just it's trust me, the profit margin on the fountain sodas is wonderful. They can afford to do this.
Astronomical, yes.
And he looked at me and said, "Well, if you got your mug, if you had one of these, you could take this with you. You wouldn't have to fill up so often." And he's sitting there getting regular Coke. And he looked to be twice my size. And I'm like, yep, but that works for you, don't it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is a cost benefit analysis to where even I'll do it every once in a while. Like I'll want something and I'll see like the bulk price is just so much cheaper for this thing that's a little bit bad for me. But at the same time, the higher price means I don't eat as much of it and there's like a cutoff point.
Right.
And that does matter. It helps with portion control.
So, do you want to be the driver out here who's now having to wear compression socks for circulation issues? Because I've seen that
Because
before
of
too.
diabetes.
Yeah. Do you want to? I mean, yeah. Lay off the sodas. You want to cook in the truck? There's ways to do it. There's resources out there, and I know there's a bunch of stuff on YouTube about it. All you have to do is go search for it. I don't have anything right in front of me right now, but a crock pot and an electric skillet can go a long way in helping you with that. Oh, can
Oh,
I see
it's
the chat?
popped up.
Bruh, can you see the chat? Yeah. Yes, I can see. Thank you very much. How are you? Hope you're doing okay. You're on YouTube. Okay.
First one we ever got.
So, bruh, do you have a question? If you do, post
No,
it.
I was at 7:29. Oh, it was a few minutes ago. I just caught it.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
thought
it just popped up on
I
my
thought
screen
it
too.
was left on there. I guess it wasn't.
Yeah.
But no, like as long as we okay, the only thing that YouTube cares about is if we have to address super chats, but usually super chats involve money. There is no such thing.
Yeah, we're funding this on our own and we're not monetized right now. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
we support us only. So, but yeah, like I said, I always leave in the thing where if you have a question that we didn't address in the video, just leave it at the bottom. We will get back to you.
Yeah.
Because I usually stalk the internet for anything that we make. Here's something from a lady. So my husband is very disillusioned. He's thinking of quitting trucking and coming home. We aren't making nearly what we were making, and he says he can make the same amount driving local or getting a different job. He's a lease operator. We're doing really well until fuel costs started killing us. I know he likes the freedom. He has a LO.
Probably he means LLC.
I thought it meant something to do with like the lease or whatever. But he would consider com- he would consider a company if the cash was right. We are in Florida. Any suggestions to what companies to look into? He hauls reefer
Man,
loads.
Florida's a great market to haul fuel.
Well, he says
I'm
he
just
hauls
saying.
reefer loads. I don't know what that is.
Refrigerated.
Oh,
Yeah. That's what reefer means, refrigerated.
is it easy to haul refrigerated or?
Is it easy to haul refrigerated? Well, you got to watch your temperatures on these products and stuff. And, most of these companies, I worked for Tyson for a little while. So I can tell you that just about everything that came out of Tyson came with instructions on how to set your reefer up. And it's not hard. It's really not.
Okay. I think that should be about it. I don't think there's much we didn't cover.
There's always going to be something.
Someone put this on the back
This
of
never ends.
someone put this on the back of a truck. It's Cat in the Hat. It says, "I will drive trucks here or there. I will drive trucks everywhere. Yes, I do have a cat under the hat of my '59 Mac." Truckers
So
can
you're
say
trying to be
whatever.
cute, huh, driver?
Or wasn't there a thing going around for a while where you could put like a stuffed animal into like the front part of your bumper kind of thing, so it looked like you ran it over?
I've seen all sorts of stuff out there.
Or my favorite's the one where someone like ties or glues a Woody and Buzz doll to the back of the moving van.
I've seen a lot of that. I don't care who you are. It's kind of funny. If you're into Toy Story, then yeah, it's kind of funny actually. Oh, I think my favorite was on a flatbed with a Tonka truck strapped down to the bed. What a heavy load!
Yeah,
Like a
I like that
Tonka
one.
dump truck. I love I love Tonka toys anyway. And I just thought, yeah, that's cute, driver.
All right, this
Trying to be
one's
cute.
kind of an odd question, but just to say we covered it, because women ask the strangest questions. I mean,
They
truckers seem
do.
normal by comparison. That's saying it.
Yeah.
If your truck driver didn't need the money from driving truck, would you be offended by him choosing to leave you?
I'm not sure what she's getting at.
I think she means, would you be jealous of his job if he chose to leave you for the job? That's not a whole picture, though. That's very
Mm,
misconstrued.
all right. Read that one more time. I'm going to try to wrap my head around it.
Well, I don't know if her grammar's correct, but
Probably not. Most people on Facebook probably you didn't pay attention in English class did you?
if your
There is
truck
such a thing called Grammarly on your computer. Use it.
if your truck driver didn't need the money from this job, would you be offended by him choosing to leave you?
I see what she's getting at. This goes right back to what I said about why do truck drivers want to leave? Well, I tell you what, it usually is an issue of money when somebody decides to get into trucking. All right. And if he didn't need the money and could do something else, I promise you he might just be doing something else. So your question, I don't get what you're trying to do. Now, if it one of those things where he was like, say, traveling sales or something, and he's making a lot of money, and you're still offended by it, yeah, okay. I don't know what to tell you. I made it work out to where I'm home every day. He probably can too. That's all I'm saying.
Just a matter enough time, experience, and finding the company to say yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Um. Oh, and they do have truck yards. Talk about like safe to park truck yards. Because women, like, I'm not talking about like the truck yards, the lot lizards necessarily, but the safe places because you can't always just leave your truck any old place.
No, I've seen too many of them get towed away. As a matter of fact, Tim sent me a video. Somebody decided there's a pilot that's across the road from a strip joint. And it was a container hauler, and he parked his truck on the fuel drops, and had to have the damn thing towed away because he was blocking the fuel. The fuel driver had the thing towed away. You block the fuel drops at a truck stop, I promise you, you're going to get towed away. Okay,
Mm.
and anyway, as far as parking is concerned, there's a shortage of truck parking everywhere, and I've noticed it really clearly around DFW. And there are separate truck parking lots, and then there are a few truck stops in the area, uh, even the one I work for. And we, it's kind of a buyer, kind of one of those buyer beware things. You never really know. There's a really nice secured lot over off of Markham Ranch Road that has a security guard and 24/7 surveillance. Then there's, the various truck stops in the DFW area, and there's a lot of truck parking places in the area.
That was a nice one over in
Um,
Saginaw.
you're better off if you can. If you live in the area where your company has a lot, that's exactly where I'd go. Okay.
Just try and find one.
Yeah. It's going to be it's an uphill challenge.
Mm. Oh, this one didn't have any answers on it, but has anyone moved from Canada to Texas?
Well, welcome to Texas, and you're in for a culture shock. Okay. We don't have poutine here, eh?
More people with babies, people with babies. Gas prices. My truck driver has always used hotspot on his phone for his Wi-Fi in the truck for when he wants to use his Fire TV. But there's only so many hotspot GBs with Verizon before it slows way down. So my question is, what do y'all ladies or your truck drivers use for Wi-Fi in the truck?
I can't effectively. All the major truck stop chains have Wi-Fi. Your Pilot, Flying J, TA, Petro, Loves. But if you want to have something worthy enough to run a Fire Stick TV, you're going to end up paying for it, and I question that. I do, even from this level, you know, even for working for one of them, I question it on this level. Truck stops are out there to make money. They know you're a captive audience. Sometimes it's not the best price out there. The best thing to do would be, you know, and to be quite honest with you, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have an effective answer for that one. If money is a concern, then don't do it. I guess maybe you have to do without the Fire Stick TV. I'm not against Fire Stick TVs. I'm considered buying one for the house. I'm not too keen using mobile hotspots out there on the road for internet other than, email and basic surfing. You got to read your agreements with whoever you got your hotspot through. This one is going to require a little bit more research, and I'll address that one at a later date. Mobile internet on the trucks. So,
says we have a friend that is hauling wastewater / sludge in Missouri. He says he's making great money. We are in Alabama, and I'm sure it's a thing here. Do any of you know about this kind of work? Not interested in being a company driver.
I can tell you from oil field work here in Texas that that's an hourly paid. Most of them are hourly paid positions, and they pay pretty well. I don't know about Alabama, so even though I know I used to live there, I just don't think that the Alabama market for local drivers. My criticism of living in Alabama is, they didn't respect labor in the first place. I mean, they're paying dump truck drivers in Madison County, Alabama. That's Huntsville. Basically $32,000 a year to drive a dump truck, when a lot Mark is now driving a dump truck in Tennessee and he's making a lot more. Maybe wastewater hauling, I don't have anything against that personally, but I'm going to sit here and say is you might want to do some research on what it pays before you agree to do something like that, or find something that does pay a little bit better. I don't know what part of Alabama you're in, but I'm sure there's something out there.
Has anyone's truck driver? I'm trying to get around their bad grammar. Has any truck driver come to their truck to see someone attempt to steal something? Today it was the batteries.
It happens. Batteries are high dollar items and can be recycled. Much like
how do
catalytic
they
converters.
lock up their batteries?
Well, here's the thing. The batteries, most of the time, they don't come with locks. You're going to probably get creative on that. So find something, put a chain on the cover or something, a lot of these things on my Freightliner, it's a plastic cover right on the frame back behind the catwalk. And there's 3 batteries back there. You unscrew this thing, take them out, and, they're right there. A lot of them have battery boxes. Kenworths are, on the side, like on the passenger side or something. So you might want to figure out a way to put a lock on these things. I don't really have a good answer for that one.
The types of animals truckers can take with them.
If you have a service animal, then yeah, you can take that with you.
What kind of animals?
Usually dogs.
I've seen some cats.
There's a lot of trucking companies out there with pet policies, and you might have to pay a deposit, or at least have them take the deposit out of your pay there for a little while. But that covers cleaning, accidents, whatever. And you're gonna. I don't necessarily have a problem with that, but you might want to ask your company or other companies about their pet policy. It's I'm seeing a lot more over the last 20 years. I've seen a lot more people take their dogs with them, and I've seen a few cats out here on the road too.
Bringing children or other halves with you over the road, the cost of insurance, and what does that entail?
Basically, by federal regulation, you can't have unauthorized passengers in the truck. So you just can't just say I own the truck and bring your passenger. You have to get the approval from the motor carrier, and there's a reason for that, and it has everything to do with safety. Now, if your company has a policy that allows for riders, there's usually an insurance. I know in past where I've worked with companies that allowed it, you had to pay an insurance premium for the time period that they're going to be with you. Mark takes his son Tyler with him a lot, so he had to pay for that. And that's a liability policy that you're paying for, and then the company has to have a letter of authorization authorizing you to be a passenger in that vehicle if you want to be totally legal about it. Because if you're not, the DOT catches you, technically you can get a citation for it.
Again, last but not least, CB handles.
Big Fuzzy right here.
Yeah, actually, Sasseleigh Biggons is my version of a trucker handle. The handle is the name that they say over the radio, like the
Code
ham
name.
radio.
Ham radio is different than CB radio, because ham radio you cannot use handles. Okay, you have to use your call sign, and you have to be professionally licensed to do that. It's a whole different ball game. That's actually an entirely different podcast. CB, I don't have a CB in my truck anymore.
A lady was on here, and I guess a friend of a friend had died who was in the trucking industry, and they wanted to know how they could find out the guy's CB handle.
Ask his family, maybe.
No, it was the family. It was like, what is it? They had no idea.
Wow, if that's a real well-guarded secret, they didn't pay too much attention to him in his work, did they?
Not everyone says, "Hey, here's my funky nickname."
Yeah,
I picked it out myself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, yours is Big Fuzzy. I'm Sasseleigh Biggons. What other names are there out there?
You'll be surprised.
No, just what are they? I'm just trying to remember. I know Elvis is popular. Or
Sometimes you'll see these ego-driven owner-operators with their big long Peterbilts and their CB handle on the side of their door. Old school, 70s style. That's the way they used to do it. They used to sit there and advertise back in the day. I'm not advertising jack. Not in this day and age.
No, what were they?
You had to ask, didn't you?
Of course I have to ask.
I had a good friend in Jackson, Tennessee. He was the snowman. He belonged to the one C club. He used to do a lot on the CB because I have CB set up inside my bedroom. And these CB enthusiasts really weren't truckers per se. They really were local. And that happened a lot. I haven't seen any of that in the last 30 years, to be quite honest. But, why not? Let me pull out my trusty phone and go CB handles. There we go. Big Bag, Swamp Fox, Blue Knight, Cycle Smoker. Oh, my favorite, the NC Camel Jockey, the North Carolina Camel Jockey, who leaves graffiti everywhere. I wonder whatever happened to him. The last I saw anything, it was in Canton, Texas, a couple of years ago. No, it was a couple of years ago. I stopped in to use the bathroom, and there it is in the bathroom stall. NC Camel Jockey. Oh, you were here too. Okay. Sod Buster, hard to carry. Large Marge, Large Marge from Pee Wee's Big Adventure. It's a running joke with me and Tim. Large Marge, and there are some large Marges out
we
here.
haven't even gotten the tip of the iceberg on trucker humor.
Yeah. For anybody who wants real trucker humor, not safe for work, just go to YouTube and look up Gene Tracy, truck stop number 1.
What does this person have?
Raunchy ass comedy. If you think some of these comedians today or something, they have nothing on those guys that ran the truck stop circuit in the 70s.
No, here's what the issue I have with the younger people's interpretation of what I call body part humor. It's like, oh, good for you. You have the so-called body part, and that's all that ever gets to. At least truckers put more thought into it, and it's like fully concepted ideas. I mean, yes, they're, I guess you could say, disgusting, but at the same time, they're fully formed ideas. They're jokes that just never die, and they really do have that swift kick to the gut funny to them.
Yep.
Or like young kids, like their version of funny is like, my mom walked in on me when I was doing something. I feel so sorry for your mother. Good to know. Versus the truck drivers that,
well,
like,
if they can tell us, no, if they can tell a story with that, you see, that was the thing. The truck driver comedians out there, and there's a bunch of them. You can find them in a truck stop. You can find the Gene Tracy impersonators out there in any truck stop in America. But if you could tell a story.
Yeah, they're real storytellers versus, like I said, humdrum, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to know more about the orgy, which probably didn't happen, but you know.
Locker room talk is what most of it was. You know, my dad was really bad about it. He had no filter. But this is also the same man that said when he retired, he wanted to be waiting on beautiful women handed foot all the time. And in that nursing home he was at, there were some hot ones there.
He didn't say under what capacity. This is the same man that said he wanted to die in the arms of a redhead, but didn't say how or if she killed him.
No, I said that.
You said you were quoting him.
He did mention something about that, but I have said it a few times to other people. Particularly after we got together. Yeah, I want to die in the arms of a redhead. This is a suicide run. I'm marrying the redhead. I'm not coming back.
But yeah, trucker humor is a specialized taste where if you enjoy being shocked and awed, it's right up your alley.
Yeah, and they're always, a lot of them are so ego driven. They're always talking to just one up you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I had a blowout on I-40. Oh, I had 2 blowouts at once on I-40. Oh, yeah, 2, all 18 of my wheels blew out at once on I-40.
Somehow it turns
I was in the middle of Memphis
you
traffic and people were shooting at me.
blowing you.
Yeah.
You got a discount rate because you bought in bulk.
Oh. There was a documentary I saw, and it was from the 70s. Or was it the 70s or 80s? And it was pretty much about truckers and trucking life and so forth. And it offended me. It really did, because they featured this one lady trucker who was just so full of piss and vinegar that I was just like, no, you're the type of lady trucker I don't want to deal with. You're the one I don't want to deal with. You're the one that would actually attempt to kill somebody.
She's bored. She had to do something with her time.
I don't know, or she had something to prove. I'm not going to lie. I do get doubtful about some of these lady drivers out here, particularly when they start complaining. Okay, this job is hard. Get with the program, you know?
What you signed up for was hard.
You signed up for this. You can go home.
It's not like you don't know how to get there.
Yeah, we all signed up for it at some point. Yeah, I have a criticism of my own job, but I deal with it. As a matter of fact, I'm to the point where I'm so confident in my ability, especially hauling fuel, that it doesn't matter what you throw at me. I've already seen it. Well, there's some things I don't like to deal with, and I really don't like to deal with others' stupidity. I don't like to deal with the mistakes that other people thrust upon me.
Well, it's because they trust you to actually finish it versus somebody else who's like, oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I get that a lot too. Well, it's not my job. Okay. Well, whose job is it so I can make a complaint?
It's like, you get paid to be here?
Yeah.
Or is that every once in a while, if I was kind of peeved in the restaurant industry, it's like, your arms broke? Because if they're not, I can give that as a free gift with service. I can break them anytime you want.
Was that you talking to your coworkers?
Yeah, or my boss. There's only one I actually did that to, but she understood where I was coming from with it.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand the emotion when my face doesn't move. They think that's what it means. Resting bitch face is very
Oh
useful.
yeah, you've mastered that too. The art of being able to tell something with a straight face, and people believe you. If you can say
Of
something with
course.
confidence and with a straight face, people will believe you. And I do
Absolute
this. I do this
confidence.
all the time, especially on my job. How do you like your job? I hate it. Sometimes I'll just go right there. I hate it. No more, no less. I hate it. Or
It's
sometimes I'll
there.
go. I like to go over the top with it, like that one lady. Well, set up this story real quick. Um, I was in Waco covering loads down there for another company that I was with, and driver called in. He was supposed to be at one particular station at around 6 a.m. if it worked out right when they opened, right? Well, they're calling me at like 7:38 because he called in sick. His shift was supposed to start at 4 a.m. and here he is 7 o'clock calling in, and now they're trying to get me to go out there and cover it. And I'm just like, I don't know if I can make it. Where they're at, because they're about to run completely out of gas, and I know how busy they were. Well, I get out there, and this one old lady yells at me, "If you've been doing your job on time, I'd be able to get gas. I'm not paying that high dollar premium." Blah 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 blah. And I told her, okay, look, this other station's down the road. It's the exact same price, and they get their gas at the exact same place that I got this stuff. As a matter of fact, it's exactly the same thing. You're free to go. And then this other lady who pulls up in a nice Escalade, and she must have witnessed the whole thing. And she said, "Do you love your job?" And I'm like, I didn't like her tone. And I'm like, "No, I
Condescension
hate it
of it
with a
all.
purple passion." And she said, "Well, why do you do it then?" You said, "See that Cadillac Escalade you're driving?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's a nice car. Yeah, I got 3 of them in the driveway at home.
No, we
That's
don't.
why I do it." That's the whole point of the joke. Of course we don't.
You're here collecting our earthly treasures, yes.
Yes, that's why I do it. Why do you do it? For the money. That's why
We
we do it.
don't do this
For the
out of the
money.
goodness of our hearts.
I don't do this because I like the industry. So I have huge criticisms here, and that's a show in and of itself. But got a visitor at the door.
Yes, I know. It's almost dark, and he's going to turn into a pumpkin if he's not allowed outside.
Yeah. Anyway, you want to wrap this up?
Sure.
All right.
Thank you for anyone who's still with us or rewatching the replay and whatnot. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and leave a comment, whichever. I do check it very frequently. So we are out.
Have a good one, everybody.